Right, let me do a quick TLDR for Vision. So let me smack this up. Boom. Right. So the idea here is for Vision, what you do is you go to any of the volatile magic vendors right at the start of every of the season 4 maps. You buy the, here it is. You buy the Trance Stone, which unlocks the first tier of achievements, which are the visions of all the different maps. Effectively, it just unlocks this, which is the Shattered Gift of Prescience collection, which is to complete all of these different things. Let me go back. So, in every single map, they follow the same strict guideline, and I'm not going to go through every single one of them, but let's take the Visions of Dragonfall to begin with, because they're all pretty much identical. So for this map in particular, it asks you to have the Heavy Corsair Jerkin, which is kind of weird actually. Wait, what? It's the boots that unlock from Dragonfall. That's a bit of a bug, it seems. It asks you to have the Heavy Corsair Jerkin, which should be the boots, but is the Jerkin, and which is acquired through doing the meta achievement for Dragonfall. So War Eternal, you got to do this one, which gives you the boots. But apparently it's bugged. It's the wrong one. I didn't even notice until the very end. Right. The Visions of Dragons, Oreen, is basically you go and find a vision. You go and find an interactable thing in the air, which shows you a memory. And the memory is like a cutscene from every episode. On every map, you gotta go do that. The Vision of Allies. You gotta go and find a note. It's a physical note in the world, usually on the ground or very near a waypoint, written by said NPC. So Saphira in this case, or Brahm, or Rox, or whatnot. The fourth one asks you to do an event. It's a very specific. It's usually tied to some form of meta event in one capacity or another. This one in particular is to defeat a ley-infused enemy while holding a memory essence encapsulator. Now the memory essence encapsulator is very, very important. You need one for every map, so you need 6 of them. You buy them from the same vendor that you bought the Trance Stone from. And you need a total of 18 these let me go, Sunlight ingots. These, the Sunlight Electrum ingots. They're craftable or purchasable, so don't worry. And you need a few other things, but that's the most important thing right there. And you hold that in your inventory and you defeat a boss or an event or whatever. In this case, it's the ley-infused enemies which spawn after the Kralkatoric event on the map. The Vision of Landscapes is basically you have to have the sky scale, because the sky scale can follow these paths of specific what are they called? Volatile magic flying around the map, basically. So you fly into one of the volatile magics, which refills all of your energy, and you can keep on flying and flying and flying and follow a path, and you got to follow the entire path until the end, and that checks off this one once you close off the rift. The Vision of Equipment usually asks you to own something which was introduced with the map. So that could be armor, weapons, whatever. In this case, it is the full tier 1 set of the Mist. There we go. Mist Shard set. So tier 1, which is unlocked only through achievements. Oh wait, some of these can be a little bit annoying. Because take something like Istan, for example. Istan asks you to craft 6 astral weapons, which requires you to have quite a bit of Kralkatite to craft all of the astral weapons. Now, bear in mind, astral is tier 1. It is not the stellar, which are tier 2, and are really, really heavily expensive on Kralkatite. Don't worry about that. So it isn't that bad. It could have been worse. Vision of Action. You may think this is a heart, but it's not actually a heart. It's an event. On every map, there's a Vision of Action. You have to do something, and there's only a hint as to what to do. For Istan here, it's stop the supply of deathly materials, which is you have to stop one of the caravans going to the actual center of the map. And that more or less goes for all of them. Like this is the structure that follows all of them. You have to have the armor, you gotta get the vision, you gotta find a note from an ally, and you gotta beat some of the bosses. Be aware that some of them, like take Thunderhead for example, the Wrathbringer, it has to be the Wrathbringer. It can't be the slug at the bottom, so it has to be North meta. And be aware of the deathly branded Shatterer, which is, well, which only spawns every 3 hours. But yeah, most of that is like, most of the difficulty or most of the challenge, as I find, is some of the retroactive stuff, like owning the Dragon's Blood weapons, having the meta achievements done for all of the stories, all the story journals, which unlock the Corsair leggings and the top and the boots and the whatnot. Yeah. Other than that, it's really just wait on events. So that's tier 1. That fills the Vision 1. It gives you a Shattered Gift of Prescience. The Shattered Gift of Prescience, I bet you there's going to be a, what's it called? A guide out soon. But it really is just the Shattered Gift of Prescience combined with 100 Icy Runestones. Let me actually hear. 100 Icy Runestones, the Gift of Energy, and the Gift of the Mists. So yeah, that's combined into the actual Gift of Prescience. Prescience. I don't know how to actually say it. Completing Vision 1 also unlocks Farsight, which is the collection to get the actual precursor, Glimpse. This one asks you to kneel and contemplate your mastery of the Veil at Insights of Rust criteria. And you got to do 20 of 20. Basically what you do is you go to any of the Living Story, you have to go to all of the Living Story maps. You have to find 20 of these, the mastery points that are on the floor. You kneel by them. When you kneel, you get a little buff on your bar, which basically counts down from 15 seconds to 0. And once it hits 0, it counts as 1. You got to find 20 different mastery points across all of the Living Story season maps. Not all of them can be used, so you can't go underwater, so you can't go for that one, for example. But don't be afraid, because there are, I think there's like 24. Correct me if I'm wrong though, but I think there's 24 or 25 mastery points that are eligible for kneeling at, and you won't have an issue finding them. Once you get that, there we go. Once you get Farsight, once you get Glimpse, you should have 2 of the pieces. The third piece is a Mystic Tribute, which is the very common thing to combine. It's basically the same, but it's not the Gift of Fortune. It's the Mystic Tribute, which is a gold sink. You drop a lot of gold. It's the one with all the material, all the tier 6 materials and the Mystic Clovers and Mystic Coins and all that jazz. Excelsior. Right. You need that, and then you need, and this is where it gets a little bit funky, because this is a new one. Usually for Aurora, earlier for Aurora, what we had was the Gift of Draconic Mastery, which basically just prompted you to buy these from Miani. We don't have anything equivalent, purchasable. What we have though is new recipes. And it's basically, you gotta just combine these. Boom, here we go. You combine these with a bottle of Elonian wine. And the same with the other one, or with the rest of these materials. And these craft 2 minor gifts, which are combined with, oh my god, what was it actually? You combine them with, let me find this real quick. 100 funerary essences, which are
Maybe you could
these things, funerary incenses, which are gotten from the vendor in here. Which is also just a money sink. It's 100 amalgamated gemstones. You buy them from him at 100 ectos. and either Elegy Mosaics or Trade Contracts. You buy them from that guy. You combine that, the Funerary Incense, and a Bloodstone Shard,
you're here to help.
which is this one. And you get the last gift. And you combine all those 4 into, well, alright, Funerary Incenses. Boom, boom, boom. We have
Always a pleasure.
We have it. We have touchdown, boys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gift of Arid Mastery, the Mystic Tribute, the Glimpse, and the Gift of Prescience. Forge. Into Vision. Boom. The hype is real. It is exactly the it is exactly the same. Not even a new color. It is exactly the same as Aurora. Is this for real? Is that for real? What? Are you? All right, I'll get both. I'll get both. The only thing that I could be mad about, and I unironically say this, the only thing that I could be mad about with this is that I still can't hide them. That's it. Other than that, I don't really care. It's the same glow effect. Wait, let me unequip everything so we get the pure experience. Oh, they're bubbles. What? I like that. Okay, I like that. This is this is so fucking confusing to watch. Oh my god, this little cell just splitting off into 2. Wait, what happens if I take it off mid animation? It just gives me a new one. That's it. Sweet. Sweet. Worth it, boys. Okay, for anyone saying not worth it, to me, it really does not matter what it looks like. I couldn't give 2 fucks what it looks like. It's just about the legendary quality. Full legendary topside here. Holy shit, am I happy right now. I have been waiting for this moment for so long. Holy crap. Wait, that's... Oh, wow, I was trying to equip the Gift of the Desert Master. Let me put this down there. For safekeeping. Nice. All these effects, yo. I am the Bubble Lord. Look at these bubbles. Bubble, bubble, bubble. I like it. I actually really like the interaction between them. It's kind of cool to me. High value. Right. I hope that helped someone. That was a very too long didn't read on this, but it is very straightforward. Like, it might feel like it's a lot of things that you gotta do, and it really is. Like, you gotta go to all the different maps, do events, wait on them, and all this jazz. But each of the collections are very simple in structure, and they're all identical in a sense. They're all similarly done. So yeah. It's a lot of things you gotta do if you're not a Deroir. Yeah, true. I did it in 5 hours. Holy shit. Has it been that long? Well, yeah, I finished it like half past, I guess.